All right, folks. Another late version, the late show. Crisis report, July 10th, 2025. This one's for my West Coast, Central, and Pacific Rocky Mountain homies, because everybody on the East Coast is asleep. I'm going to get these much more down to earth and closer to a normal time. My wife and I, I like her. So, thanks for being here. By the way, the Crisis Report is now brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. I don't have the materials yet. I actually had created some. They're like, nope, don't. You just wait. We'll get it to you. I don't even have the affiliate links or anything like that. So, I'll get more into it. But just started getting that off the ground. So we'll get that more formalized and everything else. But I'm excited. Looking at their reviews and everything, looks like a really solid company, which is what I want. My wife actually looked on her own, because I get her opinion on stuff, and she's like, yeah, they look solid. So also the OPS Mega 1 2,000 watt solar generator. Got that on my community post. They've got a deal. It's under $400. This thing will run everything in your kitchen. I'm going to be doing a review on them, but I'm partnering up with them. So if you would like to check out one of theirs, I've had at least 3 or 4 people contact me or put comments up and say, yeah, I've got one of those. It's a fantastic machine. Does exactly what you'd hope it to do. So good on that. All right. On that note, friends, let's get ready. Let's get ready for a little crisis report. It's late, so I think I'm just gonna get started. So yeah, I like to wait till about 5 minutes, but I think this one's real late. Cause I'm always like, oh, I'll go do like a half hour on PrepperNow. It's usually 45 minutes to a couple have been almost an hour. So I like talking over there. I like talking over here. But you know what I really like? Whoosh. Yep. It's actually San Pellegrino. All right, friends. This is your crisis report for July 10th, 2025. This one is called Gearing Up for Iran versus Israel Part 2. There was a lot of rhetoric that said that. And I think you would be remiss, you'd be lying to yourself if you thought that the Iran versus Israel thing is wrapped up and done. And you're going to figure out pretty clearly why as we go through all this. So here we go. Houthi rebels have released videos of attacks on the MV Magic Seas, MV Eternity Sea, 2 cargo ships sunk in the Red Sea. 4 Eternity Sea crew members died, with others kidnapped, prompting the United States Embassy to demand their safe release. 22 Magic Seas cruise members were rescued from a lifeboat by a UAE vessel. Australian Prime Minister asked about the fight against anti-Semitism, says that social media has a social responsibility and they need to be held to account. Musk released Grok 4, the smartest AI in the world, according to him. Obviously trying to change the conversation after Grok went mecha-fear the other day. What is it, man? What is it with AI and these intelligent chatbots supposedly just falling in love with Adolf? I don't get it. So yeah, Grok 4 is coming. EU's von der Leyen, excuse me. Excuse me. That one got caught in my throat. Apologize. EU's von der Leyen calls for European countries to use their safe loans to purchase weapons from Ukraine. These purchases could then count towards NATO defense spending targets. Now, one of the things that kind of aggravated me with this report is that all that stuff that we voted for, the whole like, hey, we don't want to help Ukraine, we just want to like focus inward, we're not really into the foreign intervention thing, all that is now chucked out the window. Full-on war mode, ready to mushroom stamp and intervene anywhere in the world. So, get used to it. That campaign promise is blown out of the water. Germany's Merz sends a message to Putin and a second one to Trump saying, stay with us, stay with the Europeans, we are on the same page. EU announces its new $2.3 billion Euro agreements package for Ukraine. It also announced its proposal for the fourth disbursement of the Ukraine plan, worth up to 3.05 billion euros, 1 billion euros under the sixth installment of the EU's 18.1 billion euro macro financial assistance package, a new European flagship fund for the reconstruction of Ukraine, backed by the European Commission, France, Germany, Italy, and Poland. UK and France are going to build new generation Storm Shadow missiles. UK's new defense partnership with France is part of the new Entente Industrielle, which aims to strengthen joint military space and AI projects. Last 48 hours, they have been majorly just falling in love with each other and getting some big old military things going on, so something's coming. Mattel has launched a new diabetic Barbie with insulin pump and glucose monitor as part of its series addressing criticisms about inclusivity and not representing, quote, real women. Now, this Barbie is nice and thin and pretty. I think they need to do them all. I think they need like different body shapes and make like a Barbie that's looks like she just hung out at a Dunkin' Donuts all morning and does so every morning. Like, you know, morbidly obese Barbie, crackhead Barbie, just things like that. Like, let's really bring the inclusion in and put it all together. You know, stripper Barbie, stuff like that. Just make it so we have all the bases covered, and they are including all people of all walks of life. You know, new inmate Barbie, you know, nice orange color. Yeah. Real women, air quotes. Secretary Rubio says Asia is where much of the story of the 21st century is going to be written. Yeah. He also said there wasn't a policy decision not to give weapons to Ukraine. No one ever said we're not sending weapons to Ukraine. He kind of campaigned on that, but we're looking for creative ways to provide them these defensive weapons, and again, these are defensive weapons. Well, that gets blown out of the water here in a moment. German court, it's like everything nowadays, it's like that picture, the meme where like the guy's putting on the clown makeup. Every story is that way. German court rules, Meta tracking technology violates European privacy laws. United States FDA grants full approval for Moderna's mRNA Ronagibity for children aged 6 months to 11. There's a caveat to all this, okay? So I think this is kind of a compromise. So the USDA is granted full approval, but it is not recommended. So I think what they did there is like, look, we're not going to promote this or push it, but, you know, it's approved. It got the approval, and you can put that on the packaging and blah, blah, blah. I mean, honestly, folks, and you can ask my wife this, she's a general practitioner. If you're healthy, you're going to be fine. Okay? Literally. And I think everybody knows that by now. That's why it's like, it's so far gone. Like, if you're healthy, you're going to be fine. NVIDIA CEO Huang, it's not likely you'll lose a job to AI. You're going to lose a job to somebody who uses AI. You know, he's not wrong. If you know how to use AI, you can have it do some cool things to help you out. I've given talks to my staff about it. They get all mad because I use it and I have them, like, create materials and things. They're sitting there with their old stuff from 1999, and it's like, look, get with the times, okay? Work smarter, not harder. Taiwan conducts live fire drills. Newly purchased U.S.-made M1A2T Abrams tanks coinciding with China's military activities across the Taiwan Strait. Trump's education department ends free tuition for illegals for technical and career schools. Good. See, like that right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, they shouldn't be getting free tuition. They're not supposed to be here. They can get their skills down in old Mexico or wherever the heck they're from. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico will not support 18th package of sanctions against Russia, demanding guarantees on energy security and compensation for potential economic losses. Fico says he will not allow useless ideological gestures such as halting Russian gas flows to cause serious harm to our country. Sanctions are set to be approved in Brussels on 11th of July. If Slovakia does agree, then they will not go ahead, as a unanimous agreement is required from all member states. U.S. State Department prepares for mass layoffs as early as Friday. See, okay, cool, good. Supreme Court ruling clears the way for Trump to proceed with downsizing. Some of Iran's highly enriched uranium survived U.S. bombings in June's Operation Midnight Hammer, Israeli officials say. Uh-oh, what's that? Israeli officials were unconcerned about assessments that some stockpiles survived the attack, stating that Iran's recovery attempts would likely be detected, allowing time to strike the facilities again. Chinese scientists create first cyborg bee with a tiny brain. Oh my God. Controlling chip and technology that mirrors the effects of the cordyceps fungus. Scientists say the cyborg bees could serve as military scouts or search for survivors in the ruins of an earthquake. I love how they do that. It's like, yeah, it could either enter your ear and melt your brain, or they might pull you out of an earthquake. Okay? They'll find you. So that's that. They got that going for them. It's like, wait, what was that first part? Climb into my ear and melt my brain when I'm asleep. Like, no. Because honestly, I think that's going to be more of a probability than getting, trapped in an earthquake, especially here on the East Coast. Amazon Web Services, AWS, will launch an AI agent marketplace July 15th in partnership with Anthropic, where startups can sell AI agents to AWS customers. It's coming. Trump plans to sell weapons to European NATO allies with the understanding that they will then give them to Ukraine. Sales could include offensive weapons, not just defensive weapons. Now, at least it's like selling them. Okay, I give him kudos for that. At least you're making money off them. But, I don't know. I wish that war would end. That's what I know. President Trump tells Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney Canada will face a 35% tariff, any retaliation triggering an additional 35% tariff on top. Representative Tim Burchett alleges that the Biden administration deliberately destroyed the Epstein client list. It's out there. I posted a guy that supposedly has it on my Subscribestar and Locals. He's got a Substack. He said he's got it. He posted it. I was like, all right, I'll just give it. You want to go look at it? Fine. DOJ dropped its investigation into Pfizer for possible foreign bribery after Pam Bondi, who previously served as outside counsel for Pfizer, became Attorney General. The call is coming from inside the House. Judge to temporarily block Trump order ending birthright citizenship and nationwide class action lawsuit. United Kingdom, France agreed to groundbreaking migrants return pilot plan, Starmer. So, okay, cool. hate people from other countries. I just want them to come here and be naturalized in a legal way. United Kingdom, France, increasing combined joint expeditionary force, 50,000 troops. More war. Bitcoin hit an all-time high, $112,500. Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $116,000. So S&P 500 closed at all-time high. NASDAQ closed at an all-time high. Everybody's high. Robinhood officially launches Ethereum and Solana staking in the U.S. Prince Andrew free to travel abroad as FBI has ended its probe into Royals Jeffrey Epstein links. Go have fun, Andrew. You've earned it, bud. Jeez. Pentagon takes stakes in U.S. rare earth company. So, okay. Rare earths make thing goes boom. Scientists in China are turning bees into cyborgs, inserting controllers into their brains and deciding where they should fly. Wonderful. Tunnel collapse in Los Angeles. As many as 15 tunnel workers have been initially reportedly isolated by a collapse in an industrial tunnel as many as 6 miles south from the response address, which is the sole tunnel access. At least 31 workers were safely rescued after a tunnel collapsed in a large industrial complex in Los Angeles on Wednesday evening, according to Los Angeles Fire Department. I was going to say they have been rescued, so that is good. Microsoft Outlook down. Millions of people unable to access Hotmail. Oh my God. The horror. The horror. Do people still use Hotmail? Really? 833,000 square miles under threat. What the heck is coming tomorrow? Tomorrow's marginal storm risk became the third largest in recorded history. Nobody's talking about it. It's not forecast. It's a continental level event, and it really is. It basically goes Texas up to Montana and the entire way over east. Hail, wind, lightning, NATO's all across half the map of the United States. Yeah, get prepped. Russia has lost 100,000 servicemen since January in the Ukraine war, according to Rubio. So this is something that's going around, and I want to debunk it, because if I find something that's being promoted by channels and it's BS, I want to make it so the BS stops. Texas City has required residents to sign an Israel loyalty pledge to be eligible for relief funds after deadly floods. That's going around. It's not true. The claim that a Texas city required an Israel loyalty pledge for flood relief in 2025 is false. Misrepresentation of the 2017 Dickinson incident, which was specific to Hurricane Harvey and has been fact-checked as not applicable to the current floods. Official sources, fact-checking websites, and the lack of credible evidence in social media posts all support this conclusion. The spread of the claim on social media highlights the importance of verifying information, especially during disasters when misinformation can exacerbate public confusion. So there you go. Russia attacked Kiev with hundreds of drones overnight. The attack lasted almost 10 hours, according to the Ukrainians. Trump appointed his Secretary of Transportation as interim administrator of NASA, and that is Sean Duffy, former congressman. Israeli official to Reuters, ceasefire agreement in Gaza is possible within a week or two, but not within days. We will offer a temporary truce in Gaza, and if Hamas does not lay down its arms, we will resume operations. Also, our intelligence indicates that before the strikes on Iran, enriched uranium was present in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Our information indicates that the Iranian uranium remained at those sites and was not removed. It may be possible to access enriched uranium in Isfahan, but transporting it will be extremely difficult. European AI defense company Helsing says fully autonomous fighter jets could be operational within years, not decades. Folks, that is the future. The tweet by Elon Musk the other night was absolutely correct. Why would you be putting money into manned objects when the future is drones? Russia now produces over 5,000 long-range drones and decoys monthly. Over 24,000 drones have hit Ukrainian cities since early 2025. Polish President Duda threatens to shut down NATO's airport hub. They act like it's theirs, but it's ours, and if they don't like it, we'll close it and say goodbye. Senior Iranian official Javad Ladajani suggested that Donald Trump could be taken out by a drone while sunbathing at Mar-a-Lago. Secretary of State Rubio says the United States has no intention of abandoning Asia Pacific. Ursula von der Leyen has survived a no-confidence vote in her leadership of the European Commission. At least 2,145 senior NASA employees are leaving the agency under early retirement and buyout offers. Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi says we will not allow the Zionist regime to reactivate the Eilat port until the siege of Gaza is lifted. Israeli Defense Minister Katz to Khamenei says if we have to return, then we will return with even greater force. Israel's long-term will catch you in Tehran, Tabriz, Isfahan, and wherever you try to threaten and harm Israel from, there is no place where you can hide. Macron urges France and the UK to jointly recognize Palestine. United Nations got fuel into Gaza Wednesday. First such delivery in 130 days. Netanyahu says if Hamas is not disarmed and dismantled after 60 days, we will return to fighting. I reached agreements with Trump on Gaza, the region, and beyond the region. At the current pace of the offensive, it will take Russia 89 years to capture all of Ukraine. Trump said Epstein files could destroy people, according to Bill O'Reilly. Former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly revealed Trump told him earlier this year that Epstein files could destroy innocent people. According to O'Reilly, Trump warned that many individuals connected to Epstein had no involvement in his crimes and that revealing their names without context could ruin lives. They maybe had lunch with him or exchanged a message, O'Reilly explained, but once that name is out there, it's over. Why don't you just get the people that were doing terrible stuff to children, okay? Can we do that? Fetterman, Pennsylvania. ICE performs an important job for our country. Any calls to abolish ICE are 100% inappropriate and outrageous. EU is weighing steps to suspend or downgrade its relationship with Israel amid growing concerns over human rights violations in Gaza. A leaked draft from the European External Action Service outlines potential actions, including a full or partial suspension of the EU-Israel Association Agreement, which governs trade and political cooperation. New York's financial elite are rushing to raise $20 million to block Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani is pushed to City Hall. New super PAC, New Yorkers for a Better Future Mayor 25, has been formed to spearhead anti-Mamdani efforts. U.S. official to Al Jazeera said recent Houthi attacks did not target U.S. ships, but rather vessels linked to Israel. Mr. Grossi has said that he believes that much of the stockpile that was stored in Iran's nuclear laboratory at Isfahan was transferred from the site before Israeli and American weapons struck. Senior Israeli official contends that nothing was moved. Storage site was at Isfahan. Officials said was too deep for even the most powerful American weapons to destroy. According to Aquila, Marcus' words, Trump and Netanyahu are planning for a new round of strikes in the coming weeks against Iran, but this time things are going to be different. Strikes do not always mean aerial bombardment. Part 2 coming. United States State Department warns that U.S. citizens, including dual U.S.-Iranian nationals, should not travel to Iran due to the risk of kidnapping and wrongful arrest. IDF evacuations ongoing in Khan Yunis. Initial reports of a collapsed building after an explosion. Ethereum has hit $3,000 USD. Biden appointed judge Mame Iwusi Mensah Frimpong has just made a ruling that marks Home Depot, car washes, and other locations where illegals hide as safe havens in LA, blocking ICE from making arrests at those locations. United States Department of Agriculture orders immediate shutdown of live cattle, bison, and horse trade through the U.S. southern Mexico border due to confirmed cases of the New World screwworm. Top unemployment rates for grads by major per Business Insider. Recent graduates in physics, computer science, and computer engineering have some of the highest unemployment rates among young people. Before demanding an unlimited flood of imported STEM workers from abroad to keep down wages, American companies should hire the graduates our colleges are already producing. The top unemployment rates for recent grads by major. Anthropology, physics, computer engineering, commercial art and graphic design, fine arts, sociology, chemistry, computer science, information systems and management, public policy and law, liberal arts, miscellaneous technologies, English language, economics, and international affairs. You notice education is not on there. I had so many people say, oh, you never could. Education? No, dude. No, that's a job of the past. Not when all the older teachers get freaked out from Rona and quit, and they can't keep anybody there anymore. I could have taken another job 2 weeks ago. The guy was begging me. It's like, no, I'm happy where I'm at. As of 8 months ago, before Operation Rough Rider and the 12-day war, the U.S. Navy did not have enough combined interceptors and T-LAMs to stock the entirety of the Navy warships. Put another way, they did not have the inventory to fill each vertical launch system in service. With the stories about the land-based systems such as THAAD and Patriot having stockpile shortages, I figured it's worth mentioning that it's not limited to those systems. The fleet's VLS systems can carry about 10,000 missiles. They were 3,000 short of that 8 months ago. Elon Musk unfollowed Curtis Yarvin on Twitter. He's the guy that he was talking to, who's supposedly going to form like a super tech bro, white right-wing super party. No, not happening. EU to open an investigation into ex-Twitter over Grok's recent anti-Semitic and racist comments. Trump, more tariff letters going out. Brazil, 50%. Cambodia, 36%. Thailand, 36%. Bangladesh, 35%. Serbia, 35%. Indonesia, 32%. Bosnia, 30%. Iraq, 30%. Libya, 30%. Algeria, 30%. Tunisia, 25%. Japan, 25%. South Korea, 25%. Brunei, 25%. Moldova, 25%. Philippines, 20%. Tariffs are set to go live on August 1st. President Trump says any retaliation will be met with increased freaking tariffs. Trump also says there will be no further tariff pause extensions. Now, if you could stop giving our money and weapons to Ukraine, that'd be great. EU's climate Leviathan CO2 trading scheme to cripple German drivers by 2027. If you're living in Germany, get out. You need to leave now. Till the end of 2026, Germany will apply a fixed price on the consumption of CO2 emitted by the use of fossil fuels. Currently, this price is set at 55 euros per ton and is planned to rise to 65 euros per next year. After that, politically defined fee will end. From 2027, the price will be determined by the European emissions trading market, a free exchange where companies must bid for CO2 emissions rights before consumption, and the European Union can set the maximum available number of certificates, a powerful regulatory tool likely to generate significant conflict. It is the strongest instrument the EU Commission has ever held to directly influence citizens' behavior. According to ADAC calculations, from 2027 onward, a price jump of up to 38 cents per liter of diesel, that's a lot, is expected. Depending on market conditions, this could even be higher. For 2026, an increase of about 3 cents is already anticipated. For a family of 4 with 2 vehicles and 30,000 kilometers driven annually, the additional cost from that artificial scarcity of certificates adds up to between 500 to 800 extra euros per year. That's a lot. That's 750 to 1,000 American. And 30,000 kilometers is like, it's not a terrible amount. It is clear who will be billed for this, the taxpayer, who ultimately pays twice, once for the emissions trading and once for the compensatory social policies whose costs are spinning out of control. Moderna got full U.S. approval for the Rona shot for at-risk children 6 months and older. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said in May that the U.S. has stopped recommending it for healthy children. So I think that's the work. Like, all right, we'll approve it for the kids that are sick, but the non-sick kids will just say it's not recommended. So, yeah. Leaked documents show Tony Blair Institute, TBI, staff were involved in a post-war Gaza proposal for a Trump Riviera and Elon Musk smart manufacturing zone. Sounds awesome. Internal TBI paper called the war of a once-in-a-century opportunity to rebuild Gaza with artificial islands, blockchain trade, and tax-free zones. Let's put a Disney World on there, man. And I end with this. God didn't call you to be liked. He called you to be the light. And light, by its very nature, makes darkness uncomfortable. Friends, links are in the description. This message has been brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. I appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Hit the like buttons and stuff. God bless. Darken out the bell. Get the notifications. And we will see you tomorrow night on another installment of the Crisis Report. Have a wonderful evening.